Good morning, New York. This message is for you. Get ready.
In 2010, when I got elected as governor, there were more people living in New York than living in Florida. Now, 14 years later, there's 4 or 5 million more people living in Florida than New York. And what's happened is the wealthiest people are getting out. And they take their income with them, they take jobs with them, they take their charitable giving with them. So who gets hurt? The poorest people in New York, the people.
Did you hear that, New Yorkers? New York City people who want all that free shit? Did you hear that?
Need a job, or maybe need some support from a charity. So what's happened is just a complete exodus of income keeps leaving New York because it's not treated well. They don't. It's one, it's not a great place to get a job. Number two, it's not a great place to get an education. Number three, it's not safe. That's what people care about.
It's not a great place to get an education. It's not a great place to be safe. It's not a great place to save money. So guess what? The mass exodus has begun. Guess where people are going? Florida, Texas, North Carolina, Arizona, South Carolina. And one of those is where most New Yorkers will run to when Mamdani gets in office, whenever that is, and starts implementing his policies. The mass exodus out of New York will begin. 1.5 million people have left for Florida. 1.2 million have left for Texas. 520,000 for North Carolina, 483,000 for Arizona, and 459,000 to South Carolina.
So they're going to continue to move even faster. I mean, Mamdani will be the realtor of the year for the next 4 years for Florida. I mean, they're just going to send so many people to Florida, but it's going to hurt the poorest families in New York.
Yes, it will. All that free shit, forget about it. You ain't getting it because all the rich people that pay for that free shit are going.
Senator, as residents leave New York, Illinois, Massachusetts, California, and they move to states like Florida, what is the strain being put on local and state governments to actually absorb this infrastructure change? Education, highways, services, how do they adjust to all of that?
Well, here's what's nice about Florida. So people move when they're making more money. They've had success and they move out of these places. So we get wealthier and wealthier people that come to our state. A lot of them, they wait until after they have kids, so they're paying taxes, but they don't have kids in our K-12 school system. Then they give money to our universities, to support our universities, and our charities. So we've been able to, build roads. We have great roads in our state.
So all those red states will flourish while the blue states fall.
We're something like a 50.
That's what that means. You see, nothing in life is free. Free healthcare, somebody has to pay for it. Free childcare, somebody has to pay for it. It comes from tax dollars. SNAP benefits, governmental supplement benefits. Guess what? That money comes from somewhere. And guess who that comes from? The rich or the upper middle class taxes. And guess what? The moment you elected Mamdani, all those people that have money are running out of New York. So you have effectively destroyed New York by electing this man. So good job. Good job, New York. Good job. Because everybody sees it, but you. Because you listen to the lies of the Democrats. And they have fooled you enough into keep electing blue leaders like a Democratic socialist, who his own party doesn't really agree with. And yet, y'all didn't listen. You didn't listen. So the mass exodus will begin. And places that are red states will get all the money, and places that are blue states will fall. So good luck with that.
You're low in our crime rate right now, and I left it as 47-year low. I think it's like a 50-year low in our crime rate because we don't waste our money. And so Mamdani is going to be horrible for New York. It'll be good for Texas, Tennessee, Florida, but it's hurting the poor. It's the poor families. And so think about it. Socialism never works. I mean, think of our state's full of people that left Cuba, left Venezuela, left places where there was socialism. It doesn't work anywhere.
Did you hear that? Socialism doesn't work. People who live in socialistic societies run from them.
Move on to President Trump is demanding that the GOP put an end to the filibuster once and for all to push through his agenda.
Okay, so that's it on that bit of Fox business. Then they're going to talk about the government shutdown, and I don't really care about that. What I care about right now is the fact that the state that I was born in, raised in, and have loved is now done. I thought New Yorkers were smarter than this. But unfortunately, New York City holds so many people. The vast majority of New York lives in New York City because there's a majority. Yes, there's other parts of New York that everybody seems to forget about. But to elect a socialistic mayor, wow, New York, wow. Y'all are, what happened, and I can tell you what happened. People saw who was running, and this man is the only one that talked about giving free stuff out. You bunch of freeloaders. That's the only thing that I can think that made y'all vote for him, is the fact that he offered all this free stuff. Free health care, free child care, fast free buses. Where's the money gonna come from, Mamdani? Where's the money coming from? Because you can't force people to live in New York. You can't force people to stay in New York. And guess what? The mass exodus out of New York will begin in 3, 2, 1. So get prepared, New York City. And all you people that voted for Mamdani, be prepared. Because this is the end of New York. The men and women who built New York and made New York what it is are leaving New York. The businesses that paid for everything in New York are leaving New York. The mass exodus has begun. So goodbye, New York. God bless. Y'all were silly enough to listen to the lies. Y'all listen to the lies, and guess what? Guess what? The only people that will suffer are the poor people of New York, the poorest of families, like Senator Kelly said, or him, that guy, the Florida dude. I guarantee you, everything that man said is actually true. And it's going to come to pass. Because you cannot give a bunch of free stuff to people. Somebody has to pay for that. Who's he going to tax when there's nobody left to tax? Socialism does not work. The people in Venezuela ran from Venezuela because socialism doesn't work. The people who ran from Cuba because socialism does not work. All that socialism does is line the pockets of the leader that's in charge. And it makes crime go through the roof. So goodbye, New York. You have walked right into the path of the biblical exodus out of New York. That's what you did by doing this. Y'all voted for Mamdani because you wanted a bunch of free stuff. That's sad. Now, we got another person we want to talk about. The Virginia Attorney General. Virginia, what's wrong with y'all? Seriously. We were thinking about... Virginia was on the list. It's now off the list. Completely. Because, wow. How could you vote for a man who literally said what he said and owned it? Owned up to it. What he said about children. His opponent's children. And what he wished would happen. That is disgusting. That is the epitome of moral decline. People in Virginia, y'all, wow. I thought New York was bad, California was bad. Virginia, you just took the cake. Wow. The moral decline is real. And it's happening now. Because what ends up happening is these people get elected. They promise you everything in the world and they don't deliver on any of it. And then it's too late because they're already fighting against each other. There's a civil war within the Democrats. Look, John Fetterman.
Would it scare you to have a Mamdani mayor in New York City?
The wrong things that he said about New York City's police, or defending this idea about globalizing the intifada and those things. Those are the kind of views you're not going to see that campaigning in the battleground kinds of states. The ones.
Okay, that's from a Democrat. That should tell you right there. It's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting that people are like this. Look at this. New York finds out the hypocrisy, economic issues, grim warning of what could happen when Mamdani wins.
Everybody is leaving New York and New Jersey.
Now look at the headband on this man. I mean, come on, people. Y'all were silly. New York City, y'all drank the Kool-Aid. Y'all drank the Kool-Aid. And if you know, you know. You know what that means. Y'all drank the Kool-Aid. The moral decline is real. And shame on every single one of you that voted for that man. Because if you voted for him, you just are interested in the free handouts he was talking about. And guess what? Where's that money coming from? Because all the rich people are leaving New York in mass numbers. All the upper middle class that can afford to are leaving New York because of this man's policies. And yet you elected him. Good luck, New York, because the economy is going to fall. He's going to implement policies that he did not speak of, or try to implement policies he did not speak of, like globalizing the intifada, since he would not condemn that. You did this to yourselves, New York City. Y'all need to remember that when shit falls. That you did this by voting for this man. Just saying. Now, back to the OG of moral decline. The Virginia Attorney General. I cannot believe people who are parents would vote for this man after he said what he said about children. The moral decline, like I said, is real. If y'all live in Virginia and you're a normal, everyday citizen who did not want to see this happen, I would suggest you run as far and as fast as you can. Remember, Jesus told us not to stand and fight. He told us to run. And that's what we need to do. We need to run. Run out of New York, run out of Virginia, run out of any blue state where policies like that get implemented and people like this get elected. Y'all wanted to destroy Virginia? You did so. Y'all want to destroy New York? You did so. Congrats. Congrats. And that's coming from a true blue New Yorker. Y'all, wow. Wow. I cannot believe you elected that man. Shame on every one of you. New York, true blue New Yorkers are so disappointed in you. And they're leaving, just so you know. True blue New Yorkers are jetting out of New York as fast as you can. And I think it was the Texas governor who said he's going to put 100% tariffs on all New Yorkers who come to his state. Come on, don't do that, dude. Be nice. Don't do that. Because I was thinking about Texas, too. But it's so hot down there. What's the crime rate in Texas like, by the way? It should be pretty easy because, well, look at the governor, Abbott. But Florida, oof, if it wasn't for the humidity, I would be there. I would be in Florida if it wasn't for the humidity. I can't live in a state where I can't even be outside. I'm an outside person. I love the woods. I love being outside. I can't live in a state where the humidity is higher than the air conditioners. No, where you have to be inside basically to be comfortable. I can't. My in-laws live there, but I don't know how. So yeah, some other red state. I don't know. One of those red states that they were referring to is where we will go. Anywhere but New York. Because I cannot believe that anyone would do this and vote for this man to the point where he won. Everybody was warning you guys. Everybody told you guys what this man was really like, and you did not listen. Why? Because all you heard was free, 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 free this, free that, free, free, free. Good luck. That's all I can say, New Yorkers. Good luck. Good luck. Unreal. Unbelievable. You know what? Cuomo might have not been the best idea for a candidate or whatever, but at least we knew he could run New York. And instead, y'all voted for a freeloading, socialistic person who just arrived in New York, not even less than 10 years ago. And you still voted for him. Shame on you. Shame on you all. New Yorkers, y'all are foolish. You really are. And that's coming from a fellow New York person. Y'all are foolish. Because you didn't listen to reason, you didn't listen to common sense. Because the only thing you want is free, 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 free. Give me free childcare. Give me free health care. Give me, give me, give me. Well, guess what? You can only give so much. You can't. You can only give so much. Because the money runs out. If you think President Trump is going to give a driplet of money to New York, you're wrong. If you think that New York is going to get any kind of federal funding, you're wrong. If you think New York City is going to survive this, you're wrong. Because all the people he planned on getting the money from are leaving New York. They're taking their educations, they're taking their money, they're taking their taxes, and they're leaving. They're taking their pensions, they're taking their annuities, and they're leaving. Just like we are doing. We plan on leaving this state as quickly as our daughter graduates and gets her degree. that excels just everything. It's just ridiculous. The moment our daughter gets her degree, we are out of here. And we'll pay back the Excelsior grant. Or whatever. Screw that giving New York back anything. Nope. You voted for a socialistic mayor when socialism in this country does not work, or anywhere. It doesn't work. So guess what? I ain't giving shit back to New York. I'm taking my kid and her degree and we're leaving. So there's that. And then guess what? All those rich people with their rich degrees and their children with their degrees. Yeah. Say bye to them because they're leaving too. Good luck, New York. That's all I can say. Well, that's it for now. I just wanted to touch on that topic because it shocked me. It really did. I didn't think that they would actually do this, but I guess I was wrong. Wow. I was like thinking, there's no way that they would do this. There's no way they would elect a socialistic mayor. But they were silly and they did. So guess what, New York? It's on. Have fun. Peace. Don't forget, like and subscribe for more content, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace, love, and happiness. And don't forget, New Yorkers, if you love actually New York and you were born and raised here, they did it to us. They elected this socialistic mayor. So guess what? New York, good luck. We're out. The mass exodus will begin very soon. I promise you, pretty soon you're going to start hearing about all these people that are leaving New York State. And you'll see why. It's all because you guys chose to elect this man as your mayor. So you have only yourselves to blame when New York's economy crashes. Because it will. Because you cannot give a bunch of free stuff away when you have nobody to pay that way. So unless he plans on paying for everything, I don't know where the money's coming from. Because the people of New York are done. The people who have money, who have educations, who are smarter than this, are done. So good luck, New York. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Don't forget, like and subscribe for more. God bless.